Connecticut is home to the worldwide leader in sports, ESPN, part of our ABC family. It is filled with many talented people, many of whom call our great state home. One of them is much more than a sportscaster. I'm talking about Gary Striewski. And joining me now from ESPN is the one and only Gary Striewski.
Come on, Dennis, my man. I feel like I should have a shot sheet somewhere and be doing a highlight with jokes that only half of the audience is going to understand, and the other half is going to be like, that was mid-tier content, Gary. Thanks for having me, Dennis. This is great.
It is so awesome to see you here. When I first met you, I just this is a nice guy. We got to talk to him. You're fun and you're funny. How did you get started in TV?
I mean, I was watching guys like you on TV and saying, one day, I want to get paid to wear makeup and do sports highlights. And, you know, somebody took chance after chance after chance on me. I grew up in Colorado, and gosh, we were just talking about this before we started the interview. Next month, it'll be my 7-year anniversary at ESPN.
Wow.
I mean, I was telling you, before I started ESPN, I didn't have gray hair. And all of a sudden, I got the white walls going on right now. Some people like the salt and pepper, so that's fine.
But you got great hair, so that's good.
It's been great. Yeah, hey, as long as it stays up there, we're in good shape, Dennis, for sure.
And now to be at ESPN, this is like the pinnacle of sports casting, correct?
Isn't it amazing? I really do have this in my 6th grade yearbook. So at least 6th grade, Gary had a little bit of foresight, and it's written in there to say, one day I'm going to host SportsCenter at ESPN. So I was 1 for 1. I've made no other predictions aside from that because I'm batting 1,000. That gets me into the Hall of Fame. I don't know if the broadcast career is quite yet Hall of Fame worthy, but yeah, I've always had an affinity to sports, to communicating with people, to having a good time, to connect people through sports. And I've been fortunate enough to get paid to do that for the last, gosh, almost 2 decades now.
And you not only do it on TV, you're like the digital leader out there. You're putting it on Snapchat. Tell me about that.
Dennis knows what's up. You know why? Because you got to follow this man on Instagram too, all right? He's in the comments critiquing and complimenting some of the content. I mean, it is what it is now, right? Yeah. That is where the audience is at. And, you know, ESPN and television networks, you know, the next frontier is how do we capture millennials and younger, and how do we get their attention, because they can look at a screen and get anything, what they want. So how do we meet them there? So I got my start at ESPN on SportsCenter Snapchat, and I was like, in 2 weeks, I'll have my own SportsCenter on TV. But SportsCenter Snapchat was the biggest blessing in my career because we're tapping into 1.5 million unique viewers every single day. One thing leads to another, and now I'm doing SportsCenter 5 days a week with Randy Scott.
Yeah, you two are hysterical together. Make sure on Instagram to check out the post-show news conference.
Listen, the post-show press conference, when we talk about how awful some of our taglines were. Listen, we only write for an audience of one. I write for him, he writes for me, and if he gets me to laugh, he knows that there's some schmuck out there watching who's probably also laughing too.
Let's go back to Instagram, because you're a big Instagrammer, and your title again is?
The Kimchi Poppy.
And where'd that come from?
Well, a lot of people see me and they're like, that's that Polish guy from ESPN. It's a dead giveaway. There's no way that guy's name is Gary Striewski. But alas, it's the old-fashioned military love story. My dad was in the Army, stationed in Korea, met my mom, bowling night happened, and then 38 years later, here I am. So half Korean, half Polish, have pride in my heritage and my background. So yeah, the Kimchi Poppy.
And I love how you post pictures of your parents. They had an anniversary.
Oh, all the time.
You were in Europe with them, which is awesome.
Yeah, all the time.
So tell me, you know, about being a Korean American.
Sure.
Do you see yourself as a role model because you were invited to the White House? That's a big deal.
I do. I'm like, oh man, are you sure you want me to be that guy? You know, I grew up and there was one SportsCenter anchor who looked like me, and it was Michael Kim. So I was like, hey, Mom, you got to look at it. There's a Korean guy on SportsCenter. She's like, wait, what? Okay, I thought your only route was going to be like Tiger Woods or Hines Ward, other half Asian athletes who are sort of in the spotlight. And Michael Kim was always a guy, and I was like, that guy is Korean, so if he can do that, I can do that. And certainly, you know, with the platform that I have on Snapchat or on SportsCenter, you know, I get messages all the time. And it's not just from, you know, little Korean boys and girls who want to live this life or do sports for a living, but from kids from all walks of life. Like, how can I get paid to cover sports? And, you know, listen, whether you're Korean, whether you're Polish, whatever box you check, the path is still the path. You know, work hard, read, write, go to school and practice.
Speaking of working hard, you also post on Instagram quite frequently that you are a real estate investor and you're out there snow blowing and mowing the lawn and raking and fixing and nailing and banging.
Because here's the thing, Dennis. As we all know in this industry, it is great when it is great. But my time will come at ESPN, and I hope it doesn't, listen, if the bosses are watching, I hope it doesn't come anytime soon that they'll say, you know what, Gary, you had a good run. Thanks for your service. And I just don't want to be somebody who, you know, is left sort of holding the bag. And it helps me divert some of my time, some of my attention to some other hobbies. So it's great. Yeah, I like to get out there and snow shovel and snow blow, and I hold many honorary degrees, I guess is what I'm trying to say, Dennis, from YouTube University. All right.
I want to talk a little bit about your love of Connecticut, because you often talk about this state, and there's so many people over the years, we won't name them, but a few famous people.
No, you know what? Let's name them. Let's name them. Shane Gillis. All right, I went to his show down in Mohegan. Actually, I love Shane Gillis if he's watching, and he was like, man, Connecticut. And I'm here for 3 more days. I was there for night 1 of his show. So listen, I understand Connecticut, the nutmeg state, sometimes can get a bad rap, or people, hey, it's just a thoroughfare that connects Boston and New York. And yes, there's a part of that that is true. But man, if you just give Connecticut a chance, it's a great place.
Yeah, the quality of life's amazing.
It's fantastic. Well, now listen, sometimes I would like to see the tax bill go a little bit lower. You know, I'm in West Hartford, so no, but it's great. It's fun. It's got everything I need. My girlfriend, myself, our dog. We love the open space, the parks, the ability to get down to the water. It's got everything that you need.
Well, the mayor of West Hartford, Sherry Cantor, and the governor, Ned Lamont, watch this program, so they're going to hear that. So maybe they'll take this under advisement.
You know what? Let's go ahead and cut some of this stuff. We can cut some of this in post. All right. No.
What's your dream job?
I'm living it. I mean, I'm truly living it. That's probably the fastest reaction to a question I've had today, if anybody's timing it at home. Again, it's in my yearbook. I knew I've wanted to do this since I was in 6th grade. I was like, I'm going to work at ESPN. I'm going to host SportsCenter. And gosh, I'm doing it.
Yeah, you are.
And fortunately, and hopefully I get to do it for, 10 more years, 20 more years. Yeah, it's a great time.
You do stand-up comedy as well.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Don't accuse me of such things.
No, but in nightclubs.
I stand up and try to do comedy, Dennis. It hasn't gone well. Maybe I should try sit-down comedy. All right. I do participate at CT Improv Theater, right there off Asylum Street in Hartford. Go to a show Fridays, Saturdays, Sunday. Take your kids. There's a kid show on Sundays, and it's great, especially for people like us in this industry. You know, obviously, you work with such great pros here inside the building, but sometimes you'll bring on guests like myself, who might get, a little bit shy under the lights or in front of a camera, and it helps me, like it would help anybody, sort of navigate those conversations and make people feel comfortable in otherwise uncomfortable or unfamiliar scenarios.
Well, if I can share something with you, I think I see you as a Jimmy Kimmel someday. Oh. Don't you think seeing have one of those evening little fun comedy shows late night?
I'm more of a Fallon guy. All right, well, I'm more of a Fallon guy.
Well, we're ABC,
but I was going to say, but we got to keep it. We got to keep it in the family. So, all right, listen, when Jimmy out west wants to hang it up, I'll be ready. You just got to ask the bosses at ESPN, because I just signed an extension. I'm there for the next couple of years, but because we'll keep it in the family, I'm sure they wouldn't mind.
Well, we're glad you're here, because it's Super Bowl Sunday. One last question. Who do you like today?
Okay, here's the thing. I am a person who likes to live in the moment and experience history. So I am totally fine with the Chiefs going for the 3-peat. I like seeing and witnessing greatness, which Patrick Mahomes is.
Yes.
All that to say, my girlfriend, who I love very much.
Yes. Abby. She's from,
Abby.
Is it okay to say her name? We can edit that out if you want.
Hey, Abby. She and her family are diehard Eagles fans. They are from the Philly area. So I got to go Birds. I got to go Birds on Super Sunday.
Go Birds. Gary Striewski, this was awesome. Best of luck with everything. Keep up the awesome work, and we'll see you soon.
Dennis, my man.
Thanks
Thank you so much.
He's a lot of fun. We will be right back after these messages.